Hey folks, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the midterm major project in this course and kind of get an overall sense of the projects that you're going to be looking at in this course. So in this particular course, again, community-based STEM education leadership, our main focus is on some ways to think about community-based STEM learning and those connections to leadership along the way. And so we have two major projects in this course. You'll see throughout the course, I've set it up that we're going to be looking at specific examples of leaders diving into and exploring community-based STEM. And so each day that we have a discussion, there's going to be a case that we build around. Some are connected to environmental science, some of them are connected to math. It's really kind of a bunch of different examples. And the reason why I wanted to set it up that way is so that we can start building capacity to kind of think about, like, how do we propose these ideas? What has come of them? What is some of the research that has happened? So that we can start thinking about how this all fits together as you all, as academics and leaders in your districts and all of the work that you do, how does this kind of all fit together? And so for the first half of the course, we're really going to dive into some new cases on some of these examples. And what I would like for us to do is to kind of be able to review some of them. And so we'll learn about a couple of cases. There will be a chance for you to review some. And then I want you to choose one of your own that you would be interested in exploring and get a chance to review it and kind of think about, what are the design pieces that fit together that make sense to you, or don't. How would you think about it? And so there are three main opportunities that we have when we start putting this particular part of the project together. And so in week one, I'm going to ask you to kind of think about, is there one case that you would be really interested in exploring and writing up about? And you'll have a chance to be able to share and give feedback on that. In week two, in your groups, you're going to have a chance to have a discussion that you can record and upload, and I can give you feedback on that. And then lastly, in week three, you're going to have a chance to actually submit the review or critique of this particular case for a learning environment. And throughout the first couple of weeks, you'll also see that I'm going to ask you to look at some of the examples and annotate in hypothesis, what have you learned about the introduction, about both the author and the work? What was the background, the theoretical frame, the lit, or the kind of relevance that they talk about? If it gets into the method section and the results, write up and talk about that and in the discussion. And then on either end, I want you to kind of think about, like, what are you using to take a look at your review? How can you situate it in the context that interests you? And then at the very end, write a conclusion. And so for this particular assignment, why I think that really helps is that in the second half of the course, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, you're going to actually propose your own learning environment that's community-based. So again, in the second half, we'll still continue to think about some of the cases and look at some new cases with the idea of you creating a proposal actually for a specific journal. We're going to focus and organize it in terms of an essay in the Public Understanding of Science journal. And then we're going to go from there. As always, please, send me emails, check in if you have any questions. And I'm really excited to see what you all come up with.